Hello, you guys. It is Stephanie from Unveiling the Spirit, and today, I guess I'm going to unveil the spirit about my books. I post stuff about my books from time to time in some videos. I have mentioned that I'm in the process of revising the third book in the series, and the series has 9 books. Um, then I had some people reach out to me asking me, "Oh, what are your books?" and stuff like that. So I decided I did a video before about my books, but it's kind of old, so I thought it might be time to do a new one. And so I'm just going to explain a little bit about my books, and that's it. And so um, my books are called where I have a book called Speak to the Spirit. That book is a book of poems that I wrote ranging from like about 11 years old until I was about 35. I haven't written poetry in a while now, but that's that book. And then, but the main book, the book that people were asking me about, is called God, Why Am I Not Married? 9 Reasons You Might Be Single. And so that book was first published as a one book, and but it was over 300 pages. And so I decided to make each chapter its own book, which is where the series comes from. So now those 300 pages is now broken into a series of books in which each chapter or each book is a different reason, because there are 9. And so there are 9 reasons. And so these books, so as I have broken them down into their own book, I have been gradually going through and revising each book as I put out the new series. And so right now I've put out reason 1, and I've put out reason 2, and I'm working on reason 3, and I hope to be done with that by within the next month or so. And so I'll put that out. And when I put my books out, I always offer free downloads. Of course, I would like to make money from what I do, but I feel like it's more important to get the knowledge and the information out that I feel like God used or gave me that helped me to other people who might need help. So I always give away of free downloads, and a lot of them actually. And so I'll let you guys know when that's out. So with the books, each book goes through a different reason why you might still be single. And so the book kind of focuses on a lot of times we have these surface issues or barriers that we feel like is blocking us from getting married, and we don't realize the spiritual implications of those things underneath, and why God might choose to delay sending you your spouse because of those things. And so in the first book, I talk about how our desires for a spouse are a lot of the times manipulated by the enemy, and that we need to do kind of an inventory check on that. The second book, I talk about how our identity is often misplaced, and so we need to deal with that. And then the third book, which I'm working on now, what I said, I talk about how we are expecting healing to come from our relationships, and that's not what God created relationships for. And I'm not gonna go through each book. I will make videos specifically for each book as I put them out. And so I'm going to do a video for reason 1 and reason 2, and then I'll do a one for reason 3 once I'm done with it. And so some of the other things in the latter books is about how we choose spouses. A lot of times they're based on very worldly things. They have nothing to do with our spiritual life, our spiritual growth, and where we're going spiritually. I also talk about how a lot of women don't understand what it means to follow and the man lead, because the world paints that in a very, very bad picture. It makes it seem as if women don't have a voice, our opinion doesn't matter, that we have to sometimes put up with abuse and mistreatment, and things like that. And that is not what that means. And so I go into explaining what that means, because that is important. If you want to function in a relationship the way God created a relationship to function, you need to know the role that you play in that relationship. And it's not demeaning in any way. It's actually very empowering. And that is what I kind of explain in the book, in that part. Another one, and then I'll save the other ones for another time, is about our understanding of what marriage is. Like, a lot of times we just have a lot of times very worldly ideas about, God, ourselves, and things like that. And God wants us to understand things on a deeper level. understand him on a deeper level, understand ourselves on a deeper level, the things we do, the choices that we make, they all have spiritual implications. And so we need to dive into those things and understand what they are and why they are causing us to operate in certain ways if we really want to be effective in the roles that God gave us within marriage. And so we need to understand why God created it, what is it for, what we need to do, what we don't need to be doing. And so we just need to get outside of this worldly, like thinking that a man has to have good credit, to get married. I mean, that he has to be established. And I mean, there's some benefit to that, but also that some of those things can be completely void of spiritual direction. And so we just need to keep those things in check. And so those are some of the things that my books are about. It gets really in depth. It kind of explains what the problem looks like on the outside, where it originates from, and then how to change it. At the end of each chapter, there's a section of questions to see that you can answer for yourself to see if that specific reason applies to you. And then I give some tools and tips and things about how to get over it if it does. I also have questions for married women because although the book is geared towards single women, married women can still have those same issues in their relationships because the book is kind of like it revolves around dealing with these issues before you get married. But if you don't, then you bring them into your marriage. And so a lot of these reasons can also be applied to women who are already married. So I also have questions for married women. And then I also have questions if you want to read the book with a group and then you guys ask questions amongst each other. In that way. And so those are what the books are about. They have really come from a lot of suffering on my end. I learned a lot of valuable lessons, which is basically what I'm sharing. And it came from me going through a lot of them. If either I went through them personally or I saw other women going through them, not just one, but repeatedly. And so I just wanted to gather all that knowledge and information, what God showed me, how God helped me understand marriage and relationships and things like that to now help other women, because this is, at the end of the day, a lot of times we're focused on getting married, have a family, but everything is related to, it goes back to the spiritual. And so we need to sometimes remember those connections. When we do that, we actually gain the power to have more control over our physical environment and the direction that we're going in life when we understand the root causes of where those things are coming from. And so those are my books. Let me know if you guys are interested in getting a download of the first two that are already out, Reason 1 and Reason 2. And then I'll let you know when the third one is out. And I would always appreciate your feedback, especially if you get a free book. Sometimes I say you can have a free download, but can you give me a review or feedback in return? Because I really appreciate that. But I'll let you guys know when it's out. So thank you so much and talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye.